Hey guys, today we're taking a look at a couple of GVM LED lights. Now they sent over a 520 LED and a 672 LED light. The 672 is just more dense with LEDs, but it's the same size light. The panels are about 10 inches. Barn doors, the user manual, an external filter, the power cords, brackets for the external filter. This one is in black. The other one in this bag is a green, and they also come in reds. All right, I'm not gonna go through all the pieces. It's exactly the same that you'll see in this case. Two Sony L series batteries, you know, like your NPF 970s, brightness control, color temperature adjustable. This will rotate the light a full 360 degrees, so you could tilt the light downwards. You can actually put this in sideways to tilt the light down without any obstruction. Pretty much aluminum all the way around. You can see it's like a giant heat sink on the back here, and then you've got an aluminum yoke, so it feels really sturdy. You push this clip in here, and then you'll be able to pull this filter off. So if you wanted to use it bare, you could get a little bit more light output, or you could use this drop-in filter over here to help diffuse it as it is. Here's what the barn doors look like on the GVM LED light. There are two thumb screws here on this side, as well as two on this side over here. So you don't need any tools to screw it in. Now on the 672 here, we're going to install the standoff filter. Now I think that one's going to be really effective if you want to walk this light in close to your subject and get really soft diffuse light. There are two brackets. You mount one on top and one on the bottom. Now inside of here is the standoff filter, and we're just going to attach it to the brackets. And then we have four little thumb screws. Typically, the further away your diffusing material is from the source, the softer that light is. So it stands off a little bit. We're going to throw two Sony batteries back here, and this one we're going to power up using the power adapter. So I have this one set to master and this one set to slave. They're both in group 1. Now you could do up to 11 groups. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to adjust the color temperature on this one over here, and then you'll notice a second later this one will kick on. So there is some latency there, but if I dial this one back, you'll see that this one changes. And if I was to change the brightness, this one will adjust the brightness as well. So you're controlling all of the lights within a group through one master LED light. So that's a quick look at the hardware and features of the GVM LED light. Now they all come standard with the wireless feature so that they can talk to each other, but optionally you could get the barn doors or the standoff filter. I'm not a big fan of barn doors on panels like this, but the standoff filter I think would be a good one. But anyways, let's take a look at what the color comes up with on our test meter, and also, you know, how much output these have. Okay, so we're back after our test. We're using the Ascensitech LED spectrometer. It's kind of an industry standard one. A lot of the big companies are using this, so we're able to kind of see if their specs are valid. We tested at 1 foot away, and we didn't test all of the bulbs. We only tested full daylight or full tungsten. Now, only half of these are daylight, and the other half is tungsten. So we're only testing half of the LED light at any given time. Unless we dial in between, then we're going to get brighter output. But I tested the daylight and tungsten. We're getting over 15,000 lux here and over 18,000 lux on the 672. So it looks in line to the specs that they have on their website and on Amazon. As far as CRI goes, the color rendering index, it's really good. Looks really, really good. You're getting 95, 97, 98. So it's very high, and the color reproduction is really good, basically. First off, the yoke is not a locking yoke. Now, it's not a big problem. It locks down well enough to hold the panel in place. I mean, if I smack this, it doesn't flip over very easily, but you could still grab it and you can adjust it. Just know that every time you adjust this light, it starts to loosen up and you got to clamp it back down. So it's not like a locking rosette. It's not like you're going to carry a lot of weight on here anyway. They only offer the offset filter and the barn doors, so not any additional weight that you have to worry about. It's not meant to carry any other type of softbox or anything like that. So the yoke is good enough. The offset filter and the barn door design, they don't work together. So you got to take the barn doors completely off, which is 4 thumb screws, before you put the filter on, and obviously vice versa. And then when you're packing up this filter, there are 2 brackets and 4 thumb screws that you have to take off before it can fit back in the case. So a little bit of extra work, a little bit of extra parts that you have to manage every time you set this up and break it down. Now they do power off of 2 Sony batteries, but there's no battery meter. So if you threw on a set of batteries, you come back to look at your light 20 minutes later, you kind of don't know how much time you have left. Now I use batteries that have meters built in, so it's not really a problem for me, but if you were just to throw on some batteries today that you didn't know when they were last charged up, you kind of don't know how much time you have left. So that could be something they need to work on to display battery voltage on the back here. Now the AC wall adapter, if you're planning on running for a long time, you got the AC wall adapter. You have to hang the brick. The cord is not long enough to hit the floor, so you got to add like a little tie strap. Not a big deal. I just added a tie strap here and hung that. Not much of a problem. And the wireless feature I think is great, but it works as groups. So when you control one light, those settings are replicated across all of the other lights. It makes sense if they're all in one place, but if you're building a 3-piece kit, you typically have a key light, a fill light, and maybe a hair rim light. Those are all usually different power settings. Color temperature, yeah, I could probably dial them all in at the same time. That's great. But brightness levels are typically different when you're setting up, like, say, a three-piece kit. What would have been better is if they offered us a wireless remote. I don't see that option anywhere. I don't know if they make it, but it would make more sense if I could say group 1, 2, and 3, and then I can control them all individually through a handheld remote. And maybe I could lock down color temperature so they're all the same, but I should have the ability to adjust them differently, different power settings through like a handheld remote. That would make more sense to me. They already have the technology built into every light, so just coming up with a handheld remote I think would make it even more usable. All right, all in all, for our starting price of $150, it's a good lighting kit, really good color, which I think is most important, but it does have a solid build quality and decent light output. With the offset filter here, it'll be good for things like a talking headshot, interviews, close-up product stuff. So it's a good kit that you're going to travel with or on location. If you're working in a large space and you're trying to light a large area, this is probably not designed for that. Now there are some quirks to this. I brought them up. May or may not be a problem for some of you guys, but at least you know about them. If you guys have any questions or comments, you could leave them below this video. I'll also have a link to the product in the description below and post it also on my site, cheesycam.com.